Let me explain something to you that's very important. The number one subject in Revelation, the end times, is the resurrection. It is the resurrection. No matter how you choose to look at it, the most important subject in the world is resurrection. And I'll tell you why. If you go to the IPP science reports and have a look at the primary from the climate and read the documents, we strip from our sixth sense, which is the most positive fields. We think too much psychologically and mentally. We become a mental civilization, right? Which means we use our personality more than we use our moral instincts because we're being stripped from them, as we normalised as moral yesterday non-stop. So it's declared in 1999 that we're in post-human state since 1960, and we're not in the right mindset. We cannot use our natural organic motor skills to think instinctively and think outside the mind. We think with the mind all the time. That's the primary problem with climate, that we think too much. Mental disorders have gone up from 2% in 1960 to 54% by 2019, accelerating 7 times faster, declared and confirmed 3 months ago. Rock solid. That's the voices in the mind, the demon in the mind, right? So we're in post-human states where everyone's been deceived into this. Everyone in the world has been deceived into this. We're thinking with the mind, not thinking outside the mind with your natural organic motor skills, to think instinctively with loyalty, honor, respect, moral, morals, inspiration, encouragement, the 8 tools of righteousness. As we've been going through civilization for the last 300 years in reverse psychology, we think 95 to 99% of the time mentally, psychologically with high IQ. That in fact only makes us good at what we do, but not intelligent. We're highly intelligent when we think outside the mind. It's called the light bulb idea, the picture that tells you 1,000 words. We're highly intelligent. So Dr. Bruce Lipton says our placebo effect is 10 times more powerful than our reality, the reality we live in with high IQ. We're programmed and engineered to be like robots and use the wrong tools. Jeremy McGivers, the biggest bowlers in the world today, who studied the human conditioning for 45 years, found the cure for this. The book Freedom. The holy grail of understanding ourselves biologically and psychologically and instinctively. And that's why this is crucial. And the biggest platform in the world, moving 15,000 scientists, with Win Off the Breathing Program, who's won a Nobel Prize, the biggest speech in the world, who says it's about believing, it's about love, and the rest of the world's full of BS. Joe Dispenza with age processing that stops aging. How to think outside the mind because you have it in your natural organic motor skills to repair genes, DNA, and immune system in ways we did not understand. Now we have that gift. Our primal state is to use the gravity of our maximum capacity in our primal state because we can't use it anymore. That's the resurrection of humanity. To bring them back to their primal state, to use their natural organic motor skills. To think outside the mind with the outside influence, that's 10 times more powerful than our reality. So you can see that with some basic common sense. The Bible warns of post-human states that everyone will be deceived except for the elect, and only the witness will teach the resurrection of humanity. So I'm here to tell you the basic truth with basic common sense. I was chosen by God for this very reason, to resurrect humanity back in their primal state with the right tools. And that's why I bring this information to you with the people teaching this across the whole world. Okay? Jeremy McGivers, who wrote the book Freedom, the cure of the human condition that's going to save humanity, the holy grail of understanding yourself biologically. Listen to 14 videos on the World Transformation Movement. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Cellular Study Research. Joe Dispenza. Win Up the Breathing Program, do the test for 30 days with ice cold showers and ice bath activation. Trust me, it works. To think instinctively is to think spiritually with your natural organic motor skills, to think outside the mind, not with the mind. With 8 tools of righteousness. Loyalty, honor, respect, moral, inspiration, encouragement. The very tools we're stripped from. We only think instinctively 1 to 5%. We're supposed to think 95 to 99%. That's our natural organic motor skills. We think unnatural. We think with an artificial intelligence that only makes us good at what we do. But it's not who we are. It also destroys our biological genes in cellular study research, DNA evidence, and heredity into our kids. 93% of Western civilization dies from stress-related diseases every day. So there are some people that doesn't have any of these problems with mental disorders, gene defects, blood clots, myocarditis, heart attacks, or any of these things. The immune system is 27 times more powerful than ours. And when they think instinctively, they live to be more than 140 years old. We don't. We die at nearly half that age. So we die from stress-related diseases in every study research done in the whole world, from every single thing people die from. The same thing. Our body cells go in corruption, corrosion, collision with pollution. And it's because we think on 5 senses negative fields all the time. So it's a negativity that creates extinction. When we think with our 6th sense and think outside the mind, it's the most positive fields. And when we think with positivity, we can make our body cells work together and repair our genes down the immune system. Right? When we go back to the primal state. We have this on documents and prove this with evidence. So thinking outside the mind is the whole key to this. Thinking differently. That's why the primary climate says we can no longer change mankind from the way he thinks and consumes too much, because he's not in a primal state. He's in post-human stage. So that was declared in 1909 that the last human being was born in the outback of Australia can think instinctively with their natural organic motor skills. And we're the ones who got it wrong. So therefore, this is a world transformation movement that's moving back in our primal state to think instinctively and think outside the mind with the God-given gift we come in this world with. That's resurrection humanity. And that's also the salvation plan, no matter how you choose to look at it. It's what tools you use. It's what you keep thinking about. It's what you keep entertaining yourself with. This is for every single person in the world, to save everyone as much as we can. Every human being on earth. It's not biased, it's not far left, it's not far right, it's not religious, it's not governmental conditions or anything like that, or education system. It's your natural organic motor skills. That's why I said do the winner breathing program, and you reactivate with the molecules, with the gut feeling survival mode, your chakra, right? The 33-degree Freemason steps, right, is Jacob's ladder. That's your spinal cord, the Neuralink, right? The power that conducts you with your body cells, right? With your body cells, so you can feel the outside influence reality that's far more powerful. Like, you know, a natural high, it's 10 times higher. The most beautiful high you've ever had in your life, it's 10 times beyond that. It's way beyond that. And it's beyond our mindset. But it's so extraordinary, it gives you the power when your principality's in the right place. It's very simple. But you complicate it because the mind complicates everything it possibly can. With all that scientific bullshit, all our knowledge and our IQ, that only makes us good at what we do, and we discover that. It causes the problems. So believe it or not, right, they're actually going to change the whole educational system, and that's coming. And it's actually to take people back in the primal state, believe it or not, to think outside the mind, not to think with the mind. That's what the whole thing's all about. So many people are so confused about this. How are you going to try and help 8 billion people? They know that some people's not going to get this. And those people's not going to get this is going into defective genes and mental disorder and going into extinction. Now, they think it might be 500 million, maybe 1 billion, some say 7 billion. When you consider 93% of people die from stress-related diseases every day, 93% of people take drugs and numb themselves because they can't cope, right? And we know that on cellular study research that 93% are practically beyond the point of return because they choose that. That's a pretty high statistics. That's a mindset that we live in. And if we can all think outside the mind, that's what timeline 2 is, right? Where everything's perfect, no more pain, stress and fear, where we begin to live the tree of life, where we help each other in a community environment like the Vineyard Rule, to be equal and help one another and love one another and bear those burdens in a community environment. And nobody wants it. Everybody just wants their normal back, to consume the planet up too much and think too much with voices in their mind. And I find that astonishing. They're so confused about this. This is why every single human being on earth will be deceived, and they are, because they're in the wrong mindset. We have it on evidence. And if you can't think outside the mind, you're not interested in going back to your primal state, so you're not human anymore. It's restoring your primal state. It's restoring all our ethics and morals in the world to use our natural organic motor skills with righteousness. And it doesn't matter how you look at it. How are you going to save 8 billion people in the mindset the whole world's in? Take a good look for yourself. What tools do you want to use? Religions? They're not doing a very good job. Right? The governments? They're not doing a very good job. The education system? They're not doing a very good job. You know why? Because the most brain-locked people in the world that don't want to face this is those that think like an atheist the most. They're the ones mostly confused about this because they believe the voice in the mind when they think critically, and the voice tells them to do it. No one tells them not to. That's thinking with the mind. And when you convey feelings to thoughts and explain your own biological language, it doesn't matter if you're talking to someone else or you're talking to yourself. It's the same influence. So when people don't understand that and they don't believe in it, they're completely stripping their biological genes to have faith in their own natural organic motor skills, to think outside the mind. They can only think with the mind. So that's why they're in 5 senses and negative fears and completely stripping their 6 senses in the most positive fears, because they're controlled by the mind. And that's what I find so ironic. People are so scared of. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's your fear that controls you. It's the stress and anxiety that controls you because you think too much. Think outside the mind and you find out what liberation is by using the right tools and going back to primal state and get out of the post-human states, because that's what it's all about. That's what the world transformation movement is with the cure, with the book Freedom, is to get you out of the post-human states declared in 1999. To get you out of the post-human states declared in 1999, and we're doing our best. We're doing our best, and we've been working this for years, man. And most people live in brain locked and all about it, say, oh, no, not me, I'm awake, I'm woke. But they're still using the same tools and not understanding this because they think too much, and they're afraid of what? Of what they got to gain? Listen, if you live in brain locked and all and think you're awake and you know the truth, you've got nothing to gain. If you really do believe you've got nothing to gain, you put yourself in that mindset to believe in your own truth, no matter how you look at it. You've got plenty to gain, buddy, right? And the best thing to find out is that your brain is stupid, and begin all over again and go back to your childhood. Listen, a child between 0 and 3 can mastermind a computer game, move 7 times faster than Alcan, pump with adrenaline to be alert, like and aware, with his gut feeling survival mode, right, the shiver in his spine, activating his body cells, with the light bulb idea that gives him the visions, right, to respond 7 times faster than an adult can. That's just natural organic motor skills, right? He's pumped with adrenaline. He's not confused. He's not frustrated. He's got no voices in his mind whatsoever. He doesn't think psychologically and mentally. He hasn't been programmed yet. You know, when a good person comes to the door and he's 4 years old and it's a bad person, he runs to the corner, you can feel it like that. And a parents can manipulate intensity complaint to believe that person's okay, because the voice in the mind tells them to do that when he comes to his own conclusion with reasoning and listen to the voice in the mind. So he's stripped from his biological genes using natural organic motor skills like a child has already by 24. And when a good person comes to the door, a dog and a child runs straight towards that person, heartbeat or adrenaline, and a parent turns around and says, oh, the dog's saying to you, I don't know why. So you become brain dead stupid because you don't know why. That's what the voices does when you go to school. That's why a little mastermind in a computer game, flat out into nowhere, no confusion, no frustration, at 7 years old goes to school and starts thinking. And then the voices come into his mind and he's stripped from his biological genes to use his magic organic motor skills, and then the accretion dies between 7 and 15. And he can't create anymore with the conduction in the most positive fields because he's stripped from them. So he's connected to negative fields and thinks too much and suffered the images throughout his life with voices in mind. That's why they declared the voices in mind ultimately designed from extinction, and it's programmed into us through education when they tell you, oh, you've got voice in mind, you've got psychosis, or you're talking to yourself, you must be talking to yourself. And that's what they educate in the whole system. So you strip from your biological genes and you think you're talking to yourself because that's what they tell you. Then you start talking to yourself and you start asking questions critically, and the voices come into your mind because you're talking to yourself. And it's a personality. It's 5 senses of negative fields. And see, that's why you become brain dead stupid by the time you're 24 at the door. And a child runs the corner because he hasn't been programmed and engineered yet. But he has this natural organic motor skills and he can feel the truth. He doesn't need to think about it. Okay? So that's your natural motor skills that we're restoring today, because what we learn is that Bruce Lee's a mastermind by 24 and can move 7 times faster than any person could think. A mastermind can do that, can master his mind. So we're brought up with the wrong education. We know masterminds in the world can use 100% of their mind, and the rest of the world can only use between 7 and 9. Einstein can only use 11 at any given time. We can only use 7 to 9. We know when we think instinctively and think outside the mind, we can mastermind and move 7 times faster than we can think. With that outside influence of reality that's far more powerful, that gives us 7-fold wisdom and knowledge, because you can respond 7 times faster than thinking. You don't need to think about the voice in your mind. And the best ideas in the world has always come from the light bulb idea, with that outside influence on their reality. That's the best ideas and the most intelligent ideas in the whole world has come from the light bulb idea. You know that. You know that, right? But you're stripped from it. You think about it all the time. There it is, basic common sense. There's nothing to be afraid of. God gives you the gift to master your mind with your natural organic motor skills when you think outside the mind. Not with the mind, it's spiritual thinking. It's thinking instinctively through your feelings. It's coded in your DNA. To think instinctively is what gives you those visions that takes you into this timeline where everything is perfect. No more pain, stress and fear. In a time where time stands still and life preserves. Now, when you get that right, you understand what this is all about. Resurrection in your man is going back in your primal state, right? Jesus said, go back to your childhood, think instinctively, and you can do what I can and more. Don't think mentally with voices in your mind. That's what it says in Revelation, right? John says the voices of the mind in the skull. And what did Solomon say? He was listening to the wrong voice. What did Einstein say? He was an atheist his whole life, but in the end he believed in God. And what did he say? I was listening to the wrong voice. What did Steve Hawkins say just before he went out the back door? He reflected the same thing. He changed his whole mindset, and he makes that very clear. And so many people don't get that. But you see, all of a sudden they think instinctively at the end, like they did like a child from 0 to 7, and they realize things, that God does exist, and he guides you this way. He guides you for your instincts, not for your mind. That's why we're in rabbit holes in the cave all the time, and trying to stick our head through the light at the end of the tunnel, because we can't. We keep on running along the trail and keep on running into rabbit holes and believing in so many different things, but we keep getting it wrong as well, because we lack the great wisdom and knowledge to realize what we're doing now. We lack it so much. Our mind plays tricks and games on us, and we become our own worst enemy, and that's what the problem is. It's simple. The demons in the mind. The voices are ultimate design from an extinction on every document, because they are. They deceive us. It's not you. It's not even you. You is your spirit. You is your instinctive behavior that's coded in your DNA. You're a loving, compassionate creature with the 8 tools of righteousness. That's what makes you who you are, by thinking outside the mind like a father, like a son, like a sister, like a brother, with your family values, right? Every moment you create that you treasure the most come from those outside influences on your reality through the atmosphere you create. Karma can be a bitch, it can be a blessing, right? Use your basic common sense as we are highly intelligent. That's what we're trying to teach you. Think outside the mind, because the mind, right, destroys you. With high IQs, it destroys you. It destroys your kids. It destroys everything in this world, because we're in the wrong mindset. And all you got to do is wake up and realize that our mild, compassionate feelings is coded in our DNA, and we're so heavily stripped from them that we're in post-human states as we continue to normalize what was immoral yesterday non-stop, and twisting the thread of truth, going fast track into nowhere but an extinction with negative feels. And negativity creates extinction. Have hereditary into kids. Get with the program, for God's sake, before it's too late for you and your family and your loved ones, because you can't think any differently than think with your mind and rely on the voice in your mind. God gave you the gift to think outside the mind, and we're teaching it all over the world, no matter what you believe in. Right? And believe me, the liberation is sensational. It's your mind that complicates every single thing you do. Think outside the mind, man. God gave you that gift, right? To feel things, to feel it with your intuition, your natural organic motor skills, right? It's not hard, right? It's easy. You complicate it. What do you want? What do you really want? Stop and ask yourself that question. Do you want peace and harmony? You want love in your life? You want loyalty, honor, respect, moral mirrors, inspiration, encouragement? Then learn how to give it. Learn how to restore it back in your primal state and give it, man. And you get what you receive, right? You get what you receive. So whatever you entertain yourself with, whatever you distract yourself with, you get what you give in return. And it's up to you, man. It's up to you. But trust me, this is the world transformation movement, right? This is the post-human stage. This is the resurrection. This is the salvation plan. So I hope you'll take all my videos and really pay attention to them and practice what I preach, because believe me, these tools work for people, no matter who you are and where you come from. It's not what you think. Don't get religious or political about it. Don't think mentally about it. Don't think with the 2 voices in your mind. Think outside the mind with your natural organic motor skills. God gave you that gift. Think instinctively. That's why they said in the Matrix, those that think instinctively tune out of the program. Those that continue to stay in the program will get swept up into the program. Okay? They will continue to be robots and zombies and not tune out of the program, because they can't think instinctively. They can't think outside the mind. It's funny, because Jesus said, go back to your childhood, don't think mentally, think instinctively, and you can do what I can and more. And it's amazing that we have that kind of evidence today with the biggest boulders and signers in the whole world moving this platform. I find that so astonishing, and so should you. And maybe you should learn to think differently and not be so judgmental, and stop being so competitive. Think outside the mind. In the Father's image. right? In our moral, compassionate state, right? Righteousness is a relationship, and it's a relationship that we miss so much amongst one another. The love. Where is the love? Where's the care factor? We're here to restore that, to go back into a moral state. That's what it's all about, guys. The resurrection of humanity, regardless of how you think, regardless of what's going on in your mind, the resurrection of humanity is to go back into the moral state in the image Christ created us in, to be in the Christ image. Basic common sense, right? If you're a moral, compassionate father, right, or family member, right, using these tools, then you're a Christian, because Christianity is having a relationship. And a relationship is 8 tools of righteousness to be righteous. It's really simple, but the world and the mind complicates everything as much as it can. Trust me, I know the truth, and the truth will set you free, and the liberation is sensational. Okay, it's sensational. It's way beyond your mindset when you consider perceive effect 10 times more power in reality. Your natural high and the best high you've ever had in this world, 10 times more powerful than anything you've ever felt in your life. Like a massive shot of meth and heroin without any drug effect. That's the only way to compare this. Your body cells and your aura around you will light up so beautiful with those fields that you'll feel the love pour over you, and you will have that vibration. You will create that atmosphere, and that atmosphere will spread like a virus, like in ways you don't understand, because you're not in your primal state. When you are, trust me, everybody wants some of that. That's the power of God. That's the power of love. Believing that the meaning of life is love, and love comes with 8 tools of righteousness to be in balance and peace with yourself, in harmony, to live up the tree of life coded in your own DNA, not of the tree of knowledge. It's that simple, guys, but your mind complicates it. Stop thinking with your mind. Do the winner breathing program and the ice cold showers and activate, man. Snap out of the mindset you're in, because it's beautiful. And you don't know what you're missing here, man. And I don't want you to miss out, buddy. Right? Believe me, the voices of the devil controlling your mind and oppressing you from having this. God gives you the gift to master your mind, and the most beautiful thing on earth you've ever felt in your life. Being in that image, Jesus Christ was right. He was right. The whole world and the religions were wrong. It's not what you think. Walk with me. Not in front of me, behind me. Equally. The vineyard rule to be equal. Right? To be equal, to help one another business burdens. It's really simple, buddy. It's really, really simple. Trust me. It's really, really simple. Right? The mind complicates every fucking thing. It's really simple, guys. Use your natural organic motor skills. God gave you that gift to think instinctively, not mentally. Think outside the mind. That's your spiritual connection. Make that connection with that relationship, with those 8 tools, and believe me, you'll have the force and the power within to be in that image, because God will give you that gift to be in the Christ image, to be in his image. And believe me, there's nothing in this world more fantastic. And believe me, once you feel this, you will know. You will know. Nothing in the world can ever deceive you ever again. Nothing can ever control your mind ever again. The liberation is sensational.